Hello everyone, in this part of the Microsoft Excel lecture we are going to talk about the formula and the functions. So any equation or function inside the Microsoft Excel is going to calculate something, or whether it's going to be an arithmetic or logical calculation, and each formula is going to start with this equal sign. So the result of the calculation or the result of the function or the equation is going to be shown inside that field which the formula is entered. For example, we are going to select any cell, for example this cell, and we are going to write an equation. So we need to write down this equal sign, and then we are saying, for example, 6 plus 7, and we press enter. So the result is going to be here. When you click on there, the equation is going to appear on the function text area. And each function is composed of three main parts: the equal sign, which is this one, and the name of the function and the arguments inside that function. That means this operation is going to be done on those values inside those parentheses. But here we haven't written some, but we have just written only the addition of two numbers, so the result is going to be 13. Later on we are going to talk about the different types of the functions, and we can say that each function or each equation is composed of two main parts. They are operands and the operators. The addition sign is called the operation or the operator, but those 6 and 7, or the data which the operation is going to be performed on, are called operands. So each function is going to be composed of two main parts. They are the operands, which are 6 and 7, and the operator, which is the addition. And we have some mathematical operators or the operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the exponentiation. And if we take an example of the addition, we say this cell plus this cell, this cell minus this value. This is the hard code value, and multiplication, division, and the exponentiation as well. So we can write down any of them in Microsoft Excel. So let's go to the next slide. What we have, so yeah, there's the order of the operators. So whenever we have multiple operators in an equation, which one is going to perform it first? The exponentiation is going to take place first, then the addition and subtraction, then the negative sign and the positive sign, then what is called the multiplication and division, then the addition and subtraction. So there is something which is called BODMAS. So you can write down here BODMAS. That means brackets first. If you got a bracket, the calculation between those two brackets is going to be performed first, is going to be executed first. Then operands, that means the exponentiation, then division and multiplication, whichever occurs first, and we've got addition and subtraction, whichever occurs first. This is how the mathematical calculations are going to take place. For example, we have calculated something before, but from now on we are going to talk about something new. Let's say, for example, we've got a 5 and we've got 6, and the result of their addition, for example, we can say here equal sign this one plus this one, or you can manually enter the name of the cells here and press enter. So the result is going to be calculated. So what is here? A value, but before this value is going to take place, there is some instruction which is going to take place in order to produce this value. So behind this value we have got this equation. So if we copy this one, which is cell E7, copy, Control C, and paste, so the result is going to be pasted. But if you copy this one, which is an equation, what happens? The result is going to be 0. Let's copy it here. Okay, the result is going to be 0. Why 0? Because in this cell we are saying E7 plus E8, but in this cell we've got I. So what is going to be calculated? I7 plus I8. In order you know, to use those value, you need to do something new, which is called relative referencing and absolute cell referencing. So the absolute cell referencing means that that value here, whatever is written here, is going to be copied. But the relative, when you say for example, when you say E7 plus E8, what happens if we come here? I7 plus I8 is going to take place. If you come here, if you copy that one here from here to here, what is going to happen? This one and this one is going to be added together. So let's say this is the copied equation, so this one and this one must be added. M12 plus M13. So if you have a look on the equation, M12 and M13 is going to be added together. But if we take absolute referencing, we need to take the dollar sign. For example, this E is the column, so A, B, C, D, E, F are columns, and 7 is a row, and we take the, for example, the 7, the row, as a what is called absolute cell. So just place dollar sign in front of the row and press enter. So let's copy this one, this equation, and place it here. What is going to happen? So the row remains unchanged, but the column is going to change. But if we do that, if we take the absolute sign in front of the column as well, sorry, what happens? The 5 is not going to be changed. Look, the 5 is not going to be changed because we have set absolute E, absolute 7, so it's going to refer to this value. Okay, so this is how you copy a cell from somewhere to somewhere else. So just copy the reference, or copy the value or the absolute value inside that referenced cell. Let us talk about some functions in Microsoft Excel. Let's say, for example, here we've got number 1, number 2, and number 3, and here is going to be the total, or the summation total. So let's say, let's give them, you know, some background. Let's say number 1 is 2, number 2 is 4, and number 3 is, for example, 6. So how to calculate the total? You can say equals to what is called this one, which is going to be E6, plus this one, which is going to be F6, plus this one, sorry, which is going to be G6, and close the bracket and then press enter. So 2 plus 4 plus 6 is going to be 12. But when we have, you know, a range of columns to be calculated together, to be added together, you can perform something new, which is called, let's delete this one, which is called the sum function. This is a function. You just say sum and select this one, sorry, sum, sorry, equals to sum. So the sum of this one, which is E6, 2 points. You need to do that up to where? E6 is up to G6, and close the bracket. So it automatically adds those values from E6 to G6, and we've got, for example, to O6 or whatever, you just specify the first value and the last value. So this is how you perform a function. Let's experience another function, which is called average. So we say we are going to take the average of those values, and so the average, and then we are going to write the function here, equals to average. So the average function is going to be appeared here. Oh, sorry, average, and opening bracket, from where to where you want to take the average, from E6 to G6, and close the bracket, press enter. So 2 plus 4 plus 6 is going to be 12. 12 plus 3 is going to be 4. So this function, which is called the average, is going to calculate the average of those numbers which are inside those cells which you have specified in the range. So this is how you can perform a function in Microsoft Excel. And let's talk about another function which is called the maximum. So it takes the maximum value in one range, and the function is going to be like equals max bracket from E6, so you can write it down by yourself, up to G6. So what is going to be the result? Of course it must be 6. So the 6 is the maximum, and we've got minimum, we've got the other functions. You can do it by yourself. Let's see this example, which is, for example, this is some subjects, computer, English and math, and these are the grades of the student, and we are going to take the average. So average from E6 to G6. So for this student, we don't need to write down the function again. What's going to happen, just click or close your mouse to that left bottom corner of the function or that cell, and click on it, drag it, and then drop it to the to that cell which you want that function to be repeated there. So just raise the mouse, and this is going to happen. So this one is the average of E7 up to G7, E7 up to G7. So this is how you can perform any function. If you got any other values there, you can just drag that corner and press it to down, or drag it to and drop it to the down cells, and this is going to be like this. Why this is going to happen here? It's called division by 0, which is an exception because we don't have any value here, and we are going to divide 0 by 3 and the infinity. Okay, so this is some error, so you are going to delete those cells. But if you got values there, the result of the average are going to be calculated. So let's say we have this one as well, and what's going to be the result. So we say if the average is greater or equal to 50, what happens? The result is going to be pass. If it is below that range, else, or so we can say else, what is going to be happening? The result is going to be fail. So we can write down a conditional function which is called if. We say if, then open bracket. So what is the first parameter of this if function? It has 3 parameters: the logical test, value if true, value if false. We say if this cell, which is H6, is greater or equal to 50, then we say comma. After this comma, we have 2 parameters. The first parameter is say value if true. So if this condition is true, if this test is true, if it's returning true, if H6 is greater or equal to 50, we can say, let's write down between 2 double quotations, pass. Else, or value if false, we can say fail. Sorry. And we are closing the bracket and press enter. So this student got 51 plus 6, that means he or she has passed. So we are going to copy that function to the below cell. What happens? Fail is good. The function is going to be copied on that cell. So this cell is going to be tested. If H7 greater or equal to 50, pass. Else, fail. So it is not greater or equal to 50, so this one is going to take place, which is fail. So the result is going to be fail. Okay, and we can use those, for example, if a value equal to, if a value greater than to, greater or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. For example, you say if a value not equal to 0, so you can compare any value to any cell to any value through those comparison operators. And we've got some other functions. For example, round, we say round, which returns the absolute value of a cell. For example, round, not round, this one, which is h6. And look, it tells you need to have two parameters: how many digits you are going to be shown after the absolute value. We say 0, we don't want to any digit to be shown, so this value is going to be rounded to its nearest integer, which is going to be 50. Okay, so press enter, 50 is going to be appeared. But if we do that one, let's see what happens. This one, 38 plus 6, so it's going to be 39. And we got the other functions. You can do them by yourself, like square root and those kind of things. And there is some interesting thing in Microsoft Excel, which is called the conditional formatting. That means you are giving a format to a cell whenever a condition is true. Okay, but before everything, the first step, you need to select those cells which you want to be affected by your condition. So we are going to select those cells. Let's say we are going to make the background of those marks or those degrees red if they are less than 50. So we are selecting the range and we click on conditional formatting. Then we are coming to highlight cell roots. So we are looking for less than. Okay, if you want to give a format to those cells which are greater than a value, so we come to this one, or between, or equal to, or text that contains a character or a phrase or anything like that, or date or duplicate value. So let's say we are going to make the background of the cells red if they are less than 50. So that means they have failed. Click on the less than, change this value to 50. That means we are going to give a format to those values which are less than 50. And here you can select the format: yellow fill with dark yellow text, green fill with dark green text, any format you can choose, or red text or red border. So, and you can say custom format. In custom format you can choose the fill, border, font, number, or whatever. So let's say the fill, we are going to give the background a red color, and then click OK. OK again. Look, those cells which are below 50 are going to take the format. Okay, so only that range which we have selected is going to be affected. We can sort some data in Microsoft Excel by just selecting the range. For example, we want to just select just sort those numbers, so we are going to select the range and go to the sort. You can sort smallest to the largest and or largest to the smallest. So let's say largest to the smallest. So the largest value is going to appear on the top. Okay, so they are going to appear on the top. And even you can select two ranges, so we are going to select all of them. Just select on the sort, custom sort. Then we are sorting by column F. Okay, let's say smallest to largest, and then we are adding level, another level 2. When we sort this one from the smallest to the largest, and then this one is going to be sorted from the smallest to the A to Z or Z to A, because they are already having characters. But when this one appears on the top, the B is comes to the top as well. So let's say column G, cell value A to Z. So the first column is going to be sorted, then the second is going to be sorted according to the first one. And we can filter any row, any column, or any row by their data. For example, we are going to filter this column. For example, we are taking only those numbers which contain 2. For example, let's say you go to sort and filter and come to filter. This filter is going to be appeared here. Just click on it. You can select all, you can remove, and you can say 4. Only those numbers which contain 4, which is 4, is going to be selected. Even you can search. For example, let's say 8. So what happens? Only that row contains 8. That's why the only 8 is going to be appeared. We filtered the data to 8, so the other data are going to be removed. And let's say, for example, select all. Okay, so all of them are coming back. And let's say, for example, remove this one. Let's say 2. In this case, 2, 22, 23 is going to be appeared. Why? Because 3 of them are containing 2. Okay, and even you can filter by what is called by letters. Just come to the filter, sorry, filter, and then you can select all, or just having those values which are A. Okay, so only this one is going to be appeared. And we can create any chart in Microsoft Excel easily by just selecting the range you want to create the chart for. For example, we've got 2 types of car. The BMW sale is 23, just random numbers. Benz is 34, price of it is 265, the number of available cars. For example, anything 65, 12, 45, 34. We are selecting the range and then go to insert and chart, and you can create any chart. And we've got so many types of chart. Let's say we are choosing the basic one. Just click on it, so this chart is going to be appeared. For example, the first series is BMW and the second one is Benz. This orange color for the Benz and this blue color for the BMW. And you see this is 20 and this one is what is called and this one is 23, and at the same time the sale of the Benz is 34, so this is going to be 34. The price of BMW is 2, the Benz is this one, which is 45. You see 40 and 45, and then the number. Anything you can create easily. You can create charts easily in Microsoft Excel, and you can choose the style which you want, any style you want to choose. There are so many different types of styles, and any style you want you can choose. This is how you creating a chart in Microsoft Excel. And we can insert the header and the footer for each page of Microsoft Excel easily. But those dotted lines are breaking of the page. This is the break of this page. This is going to a page and this one is going to be a page, and from the bottom we got these lines as well. So this entire section from these lines to these lines is going to be one page, and this one is going to be another page. So in order to insert headers and footers, this is our document in normal view. We need to go to the page layout. So when you click on it, the header is going to be appear, so you can write down anything. And you go back to design tab. If you want to go to the footer to add something, you are going to add anything you want in the footer. So this is going to be the first page and this one is going to be the second page.